Buddy, welcome back to another session of what I made today in programming. This is a little project I call PixelWars. I wanted to do something that had like a art aspect to it, where it paints stuff onto this grid, but have it sort of be uh, constantly evolving and changing, and like you. So this is the first project I have that's going to help me think this way to make stuff like this, and I plan on trying to make other versions of this later. But the concept is you can go in here and just click these colors, and it'll start spawning. You see around the edges, it's spawning these. I still don't have the colors exactly right. It's spawning more of a red, and this is supposed to be magenta. But to speed it up, you can change the multiplier. Start spawning like 100 at a time. And I have it set so like the blue will spawn like randomly. The magentas like to spawn on the outside. The oranges like to spawn on the outside. Yellows sort of like the blue. And purple, again, similar. So you can spawn all these different colors. And there's a background music too that I actually wrote this beat, not for this game, but it sounds okay for the game. And it's actually supposed to get a little bit louder the more the grid fills in. See if that actually works. That's a feature I just added. Yeah, it seems like it's working. It's getting a little louder. These here are supposed to be like power-ups. You can put food down, do a bomb, or do like pits, like black pits or whatever. But they don't really work that good, so I'm not going to demo them just yet. I might do it at the end of the video here. But I want you to see how it how the battle mechanisms basically work. So what's happening is all these cells that spawn, these blue or whatever colors, they all have different behaviors as to how they interact. So a blue one might do better at an attack coming from above, but do worse at an attack coming from the bottom. So it kind of has a randomness to it, but also a predictability to it. And these structures that form, it's basically when two dots interact. You can see these two are colliding over here. When two colors collide, they engage in like a battle. And depending on the chances, it's sort of like a random thing. They either form an alliance where their color changes to a blend of the two colors, or one color takes over the other color and absorbs their pixels into their system. Now that MP3 track that I have for this is short, so I have to add it so that it loops, because I don't know if it's going to automatically loop. It looks like it's not, but I bet you if I hit play and go again, it'll, maybe not. You only get one play on it, so I got to fix that. But yeah, so I made this today. You pretty much can see all the features. I did it using Gemini 2.5 Flash CLI command line interface. Oh, the music is coming back. Ain't that something? And you can see, here's my files. I used to call it Art Grid, but you can see the favicon even matches. Well, you can't see the favicon. Hold on. There it is. You can even see this is on my computer. Just for the haters that will say, oh, you didn't really make that, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, I made this today, and I think it's pretty dope. It's like, if anyone's heard of Game of Life, it's kind of like that, where it's procedural in the sense that there is a specific reason why certain groups are forming, or why they clump to the side, why they do this, why they do that. I haven't let this go to the maximum yet, to where I like put a bazillion things out there to see what happens. I think it'll eventually crash my computer, but I'm going to keep playing with this in my own time. But I want to show you guys what I worked on today and get your feedback. You can see by your boy Perchapon. You know that's me. So this is the latest one in the portfolio. Tomorrow my goal is to make something in a productivity capacity, like for a business and like a warehouse or something, to track a package or to do something. I got to think of something that's useful but not too hard to do, and give myself a little challenge. But I actually like the structure we're getting here as it gets more and more filled in. You'll also see down here in the bottom, it's keeping track of how many I spawned and how many entities there are. there shouldn't be that big of a disparity. We're having a decay feature where like sometimes in a battle, entities just get destroyed and they don't become part of the new army, which I guess is kind of logical in a way, but um, it does create a deflationary pressure on the number of entities on the grid to where you have to keep clicking to keep putting more stuff on the grid, or it gets empty. But you look at it almost like these are become like the organisms, the bigger shapes. Like if you think about like fish in a fish tank or like pets, and then the putting in these little blue pellets basically is like the food, because now that these are so advanced, these structures, um, whenever they encounter a blue pellet by itself, it's usually never enough to make any difference. So the most it gets is a partial alliance, but then usually it goes back to purple. It goes back to whatever color originally was fighting the little baby blue pellets. So it ends up being kind of like a fish tank in a sense, where like as long as you keep feeding it those little pellets, it'll keep growing the branches almost. It looks like a coral reef almost. But cheers, I don't want the video to get too long. So if anybody wants to message me and talk about it, feel free. All right, peace.